Hi and Shabbat Shalom. We have a special guest with us on today's edition of Fedline News, Alan Yaffe. Alan has been working on a special Haggadah, and with Passover coming up, we thought it would be important for you to know about that and to find out where you can order your own copy of it. So Alan, tell us about the project that you've been working on.
Well, the name of the Haggadah is Sharing the Journey, the Haggadah for the Contemporary Family. And it's focused on the contemporary family, which includes families that have members who were born Jewish, members who have gone through a conversion course and chosen to be Jewish, and also includes members of other faiths or cultural beliefs who are a member of the family and who may be attending their first Seder.
Very nice.
So it is very all-encompassing. This is a copy of the Haggadah here. I always like to point out that it has beautiful artwork done by a celebrated contemporary artist, Mark Podwall. And the art not only advances the story, but it's also cheerful, so that it's good to look at and it's suitable for children as well as for adults.
Oh, very nice. So when you say it's for the contemporary family, and you mentioned that this would be for families that are comprised of people approaching the Seder from lots of different walks of life or different avenues towards Judaism, how is that reflected in the actual text, or in the pictures? How does this? What do you mean by that?
Well, to start with, the Haggadah follows the traditional order of the Seder. So people who have been attending Seders all their lives will find it very familiar. In terms of persons of other faiths or cultural beliefs, perhaps the best way to describe it is through to relate the best compliment I ever received on the Haggadah, and that was from a rabbi who said she loved the Haggadah because for persons of other faiths or cultural beliefs it was understandable, and for a rabbi it was meaningful, meaning it gave special meaning to the liturgy and to the text. And I believe that I was able to capture this by being both inclusive and also being participatory. So by inclusive, for example, the language is very understandable. Now, Steve, you may say to me, Alan, you're a lawyer, how is that possible? And I would say, well, yes, but I was also a fourth grade teacher for a number of years. So give me a little bit of benefit of the doubt and take a look, and I think you'll find it's understandable. Also, it is gender sensitive, so that where we refer to patriarchs, the Haggadah also refers to the matriarchs. It has Miriam's cup, the ritual, and also has specific references to specific women in the story. For example, in the story of Moses, we refer specifically to Shiphrah and Puah, the midwives, who attempted to save the firstborn after Pharaoh's decree. So it is very much inclusive, and it's also participatory. Throughout the Haggadah, there are places to ask questions. On Passover, we're supposed to ask questions. So these are questions that we have put in the Haggadah that anybody can answer. Who are the people struggling for freedom today? What are the responsibilities of free people? Now again, I have to caution, I think there are 4 places that we put in questions. There is a time-sensitive issue on Seders. So you may not want to go through every single question. I mean, you do want to get done before midnight,
Sure.
as they say. But to do one question and, quite frankly, make up your own questions, things that you want to discuss, that people of all faiths, cultural beliefs, and no matter what their extent of their Jewish background could participate in. So, and then at the end of the Haggadah, we also have a place, and I know some families do this, but it's specifically in the Haggadah, where the service leader can ask the people present to discuss a blessing that they have received, something they've learned from the Seder, or maybe just our memory of other Seders. So I believe that we have accomplished our goal, to answer your question, by being both inclusive and participatory.
Oh, that sounds great. How did you come up with the idea for this, and who have you worked with to make it a reality?
Well, the idea came a number of years ago when my son graduated from college. And a couple of years after that, he introduced us to a lovely young lady who happened to be Christian. And I realized at that point in time, I really knew nothing about interfaith relations, particularly about my children's age. So I did a little research, and at the time there was an organization in Boston called the Outreach Training Institute, which is now URJ Outreach Boston. And in addition to their basic Judaism courses and yours, mine, and ours courses, twice a year they had seminars for Jewish professionals and lay leaders. So I started to go to those seminars, and then after a while, and it was conducted by Paula Brody, perhaps the Reform movement's foremost expert in interfaith relations. And after a while I asked Paula, was there a Haggadah that addressed the contemporary family? And I don't remember her specific answer, but it was basically not one that I know. So if she didn't know, I figured there was a need, and I said, well, I'm going to write one. And that started the process. And ultimately, the Haggadah was published by the Central Conference of American Rabbis Press. And that's one of the reasons we're talking here today, because the CCAR Press is allowing me to give a 40% Friends of the Author discount to the Haggadah. So the Haggadah normally costs $18, so 40%, that's $10.80. I think it's a very good deal. If a family just wants to even get one to take a look at it for some ideas, I think it'd be worthwhile to do. So what you have to do is you go to the CCAR Press online, and that would be sharing.ccarpress.org.
Right.
And at the promo line, enter Passover 40, Passover in caps, Passover 40, to get your discount. Now I have to add that all the proceeds of this go to the CCAR Press, which is a nonprofit. So I encourage you to give this information to your friends and family, and let's extend this benefit to as many people as possible. My goal is that it reaches the families who would most appreciate it.
That sounds terrific, and we'll put a link below this video so that the viewers watching Fedmail have an opportunity to go online and purchase it so that they can take a look and share it with their own families.
Great. So Jody and I would just like to wish everybody a joyous and inspirational Passover Seder this year for 2018. And thank you for having me.
Thank you. Thank you, and Shabbat Shalom.